Video number 108 from MythoReligio series Book 4. Dragons or Dinosaurs, Part 3, in American, French, Nepali, Mexican and Indonesian artifacts. Dear fellow truth seekers, in the last few videos I have shared information about several ancient artifacts that seem to prove that civilized humans have existed much longer than what historians have been telling us. According to the theory of evolution, modern human, i.e. Homo sapiens, only appeared in Africa around 200,000 or maximum 300,000 years ago. And yet, we actually found man-made artifacts that are already millions and even billions years old. But they have been ignored by mainstream academics because they do not fit with the conventional historical timeline. If all the previous information that I have shared with you in the previous videos is still not enough to come to the conclusion that civilized human beings have been living on our planet much longer than merely 6,000 years ago, probably millions or even billions years ago, let's have a look at the following evidence in artifacts and literatures concerning dragons, or dinosaurs. Almost all, if not all nations in the world have stories about dragons. Today, we consider dragons or giant serpents or gigantic reptilians as legendary mythical creatures. In other words, they never really existed. But is it so? Isn't it odd that so many nations in the world have stories about dragons? If they never really existed, they must have been invented by the imagination of our ancestors. How did our ancestors from different parts of the world imagine the same creature? Or did they actually see the same real living creature? Shockingly, there's plenty evidence that men and dinosaurs actually interacted. The evidence is recorded in the form of art, literature, and artifacts. This plethora of artifacts prove men and dinosaurs coexisted. How else do we explain the representation in art, literature, or artifacts of recognizable species of dinosaurs by ancient men who supposedly had never seen one alive? In video number 106, I have shared the origin of the name dinosaur, and how a real scientist by the name of Robert Caldaway, 1855-1925, a German architect and practicing archaeologist, was suspicious that what we call dinosaurs today might be the one and same mythical creature known as dragons, beginning with the rediscovery of ancient Babylon located in modern Iraq today. He suggested that the cirrus at the gate of Ishtar probably was a depiction of a species of dinosaur called iguanodon today. But as you can see, they do not really look alike. However, since he proposed his theory, many other authors, especially among Christian creationists today, continue this dragon-dinosaur research in order to prove the validity of the Bible, which contains several stories concerning dragons. And amazingly, there is much evidence proving Caldaway had been right all along. So, some Christian researchers have proposed that the cirrus at the gate of Ishtar might be the same species of dinosaur called Massospondylus instead of iguanodon. And surprisingly, this creature has also been depicted with precise detail by the Chinese during the Tang dynasty. In that video, I have also shown a bizarre decoration on the helmet of the Thracians, an ancient group of Indo-European tribe who inhabited southeastern Europe that looks like a species of dinosaur called Syntosaurus, a duck-billed dinosaur with a unihorn. And in video number 107, I shared further other artifacts from Sumeria and several more from China and Thailand that are strikingly similar to known species of dinosaurs. If you are still not convinced, allow me to show more bizarre statues and pictures from the ancient and not so ancient worlds that coincidentally look very similar to what we call dinosaurs today. However, we must remember that there are so many different types of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are a varied group of animals. Some were bipedal or two-legged, some quadrupedal or four-legged, some were human-sized or even smaller, some very large, some were terrestrial, some semi-aquatic, and some could even fly or at least glide. And we have found dinosaur fossils in every continent in the world, including Antarctica. If you still doubt that the cirrus of the Ishtar Gate could have been the same as what we call dinosaur today, what do you think of the following depiction? North of I-70 near the San Rafael Swell, a large geologic feature located in south-central Utah, USA that was formed about 60 million years ago, one can find the Black Dragon Canyon. In this canyon, there were some petroglyphs or rock painting believed to be made by Fremont people, a pre-Columbian archaeological culture between 700 until 1250 CE. Among the many petroglyphs, there is one which is described by Franz Barnes, a recognized authority on rock art of the American Southwest, as very similar to pterosaur. Pterosaurs were winged flying reptiles which were supposedly to have existed 210 until 65.5 million years ago. How did the Freeman, who supposedly lived at the earliest at 700 CE, drew an animal that already extinct dozens of million years ago? The following is a carving of a dinosaur in Château-Azay-le-Rideau, France, showing it breathing fire. It curiously resembles a species of dinosaur known as Tecodontosaurus. It is one of the first dinosaurs that were discovered and one of the oldest that existed, supposedly to have lived between 250 until 200 million years ago. Meanwhile, the chateau itself was built only in the 16th century CE. Muktinath is a sacred place both for Hindus and Buddhists, located in Muktinath Valley at an altitude of 3,710 meters, the foot of the Torongla mountain pass, parts of the Himalayas, Mustang District, Nepal. The famous temple of Muktinath was consecrated in 1815 CE. On the wall of the temple are 108 dragon-headed fountains, which pilgrims seek out to cleanse themselves. Actually, the heads are variously described as dragons or bulls. However, at least one of the heads, as seen here, is not a dragon or a bull, but instead is an excellent likeness of a ceratopsian dinosaur. Indeed, the fossil of the earliest known ceratopsian, a beaked dinosaur, called Yinlong Downsy, meaning hidden dragon, was found in the region of Asia, although they were supposed to be extinct around 65.5 million years ago. Ceratopsius, in Greek meaning horned faces, also was supposed to thrive in America. And as expected, artifacts for this type of dinosaur also exist in many forms. Among other is this ceramic statue described as bird-headed figure whistle of Veracruz, Mexico, dated at 8th until 9th century CE at Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York. Don't you think the head looks closer to Ceratopsia rather than a bird? Compare this Mexican bird-headed figure with a Ceratopsia dinosaur and a children's TV program depicting a Ceratopsia. Now, there are many myths or legends around the world concerning the interaction between humans and dragons. But are there artifacts that clearly depict such interactions? Yes, there are, and quite plenty. Among others is the following artifact found in Indonesia. This picture is included in a book called Art of the Ancient Peoples, Toba Batak, Sumatra by Tibor Bodrogi, 1972, translated from the Hungarian, which is now in the Museum of Rijksmuseum for Volkenkunde, Leiden National Museum of Antiquities, the Netherlands, number 105/1. Art of Indonesia. There are several suspiciously looking artifacts that very possibly depicting dinosaur in this book, but I'm only including one picture which I found most convincing. On top of a wooden sculpture, some men were riding on a very strange creature that looks like a bird or a duck. But how big must this bird be that 3 men could ride on its neck? And what bird is that? Could the artist actually depicting a Parasaurolophus? Parasaurolophus was a hadrosaurid, part of a diverse family of Cretaceous dinosaurs known for their range of bizarre head adornments. This genus is known for its large, elaborate cranial crest, which at its largest forms a long curved tube projecting upwards and back from the skull. Parasaurolophus was about 9 meters or 28 feet long and weighed up to 4 tons. In this picture, you can see the size of a Parasaurolophus, which is 10 meters long, compared to a human which is 1.8 meters tall. Now you can see how a human could easily ride on its neck. However, Parasaurolophus already extinct between 76.5 until 73 million years ago. So how did the Batak people knew about the existence of this creature? Dear fellow truth seekers, there are still many more proof that dragons are the same as dinosaurs. Kindly visit a website called sane.com if you want to see more astonishing images. For now, I thank you for watching and hope to see you on my next video.